All right, so this is our trip down to King of the Hammers. After watching this event on TV for several years, we decided to finally make the trip down to Johnson Valley and check it out for ourselves for the first time. So after about 5.5 hours of driving, we finally made it. We weren't quite sure where to camp. Before we left, I originally thought we were going to camp outside of Hammertown in the desert, but we decided just to pay the extra money to camp inside. Now, this is all free camping inside here. You pay $26 and you can park for the whole event. What I recommend is you camp as far back towards the mountains as you can. We got a spot near Turkey Claw. We hadn't originally planned this. We were just looking for a spot, and that had been the only spot that we had found originally. So we got there sometime in late afternoon, and they were still qualifying for the Everyman challenge. That's a shot of Chocolate Thunder right there. You can see all the cars from our camp. After getting set up, we headed into Hammertown, check out all the vendor sites. And here's a shot of the stage where the fire pit is. So that night, everybody was pretty tired, so we decided to stay at the camp. There was an event called the Holly Shootout, which was occurring on Chocolate Thunder. You can see all the cars and lights up there on top of the hill. Now, there's a ton of people in Hammertown, and this is basically just a party all night long. I mean, literally until 2, 3 in the morning, there's cars driving around, there's fireworks going off. It doesn't really get quiet only for except a couple hours. The next morning, I got up early, went to go check out Turkey Claw behind our camp, and got a shot of Raul Gomez pre-running before the race. After everybody else got up and had breakfast, we decided to head into the vendor booths, pick up some t-shirts and other stuff before everything sold out. The UTVs were down there doing their tech inspections. After that, we headed up to Chocolate Thunder to check out some 4400 cars doing their qualifying laps. As soon as we got there, we saw this car rolling down the hill. Kids were pretty pumped about that. It was pretty exciting. All the crowd was cheering. Got up there for the start of Power Hour, and here's a shot of Waylon Campbell doing his qualifying run in his Campbell Enterprises car. He had some mechanical issues after this, and he wasn't able to race his car in this race. His sister was out as well. They all raced their family races, and they ended up getting loaned a car from another racer. And they, him and his sister and their navigator ended up racing that car. This is Vaughn Gittin Jr. in his front hammer Bronco. This is only his second year racing King of the Hammers. He ended up winning another class the day after this, the 4500 class, in his, they said his stock Bronco, but it's a pretty fairly built Bronco. This is Lauren Healy in his Bronco. Both these Broncos are full IFS cars. They're running portals, and they also have 42-inch tires. He's won this event, I believe, 2 times in the past. After qualifying, we drove around for a little bit, and we ended up over a back door. I'd always seen this obstacle on TV, and it doesn't really do it any justice. This ledge this guy's trying to climb up is probably about 8 feet tall. We watched him try this thing for probably about 10 minutes. He never ended up making it up. In years past, they raced up this, and sometimes they raced down it. It's a pretty big obstacle. Thing to note that during the day when the races are going on, almost all these trails are closed or blocked off, and you ask you to stay off them for the racers. This night I ended up hooking up with one of my buddies, and we went out to try to run some of the trails at night. However, they were all clogged up with broken vehicles, so we ended up at Chocolate Thunder for a while, then we all just headed home. The next day, headed over to Turkey Claw. This is Turkey Claw right here. This is right behind our camp to check out some of the racers in the UTV championship race. This is Kyle Cheney. He ended up winning the race second time in a row. I believe his third time actually winning in the UTV class. This is Bryce Menzies. He usually races trophy trucks. He does like the Baja 1000, the Baja 500. And this year Polaris paid him a bunch of money to run this Polaris Razor Pro R. He ended up getting coming in first the first lap. He had the fastest time, but his vehicle broke shortly after that. He wasn't able to complete the race. The event has several spots set aside for spectating. They have them clearly marked off, and they're generally pretty easy to get to. We even saw some cars up here at this spot. From Trick Cloud, we headed out to Chocolate Thunder. We watched the cars go down there for a little bit, but it was a pretty fast little section because they were going downhill, so we didn't stay there very long. Watching some of the UTV race, we headed down to the stage to catch some of the finishers coming in. After that, we went back out. We started playing around in the desert, driving some of the trails out there. Just got to watch out. There's tons of people crisscrossing, people not paying attention. We ended up at Sledgehammer, and we caught some of the UTV cars that were still racing going through here. That night I got to see Sublime perform. They have, I think, 3 concerts per night. It's like Thursday, Friday, and Saturday after the race. So the next day we were down watching the Everyman Challenge, and then randomly saw this. This is a shot of Robbie Gordon's Speed UTV. He ended up breaking out in the desert the day prior, and this helicopter company, HB Helicopters, they're at the event and they're pulling trucks out that get stranded out in the desert. Not sure what they cost, probably quite a pretty penny. And here's, I believe this is Dan Fresh. He's the winner of the year prior of the Everyman Challenge. Now, these trucks are usually old 4400 cars, and they have different class restrictions. They have sire ties, like they gotta have 37-inch tires. They can only run 1 shock, and some other features on there they're not allowed to have, like the 4400 cars that are unlimited.
Or do we get out and change it? And this section between Turkey Claw and Hammertown is one of the roughest high-speed areas on the course. I remember several years ago I was racing Randy Slauson here, and I actually passed him in this cross grain. But straight away I got two left flat tyres, and he got me back in the pits because I had to stop and change them. So the guys have to be
This is a common sight in the race. Guys will break down in the middle of the trail, blocking the lines. And certain parts of this, you'll see guys winching over each other, driving over cars.
Yeah, a number of people have made that jump from 4800 to 4400. As we're watching it, this is big news. Yeah, this is damn fresh. As we watch Damn Fresh on last year's win. Oh, what do you got for us? So 2 quick gas and goes. We had Chad, Jesse. But yeah, quick and go.
This trail here is called Sledgehammer. They got a winch strap set up for these cars. I think almost all these cars winched up this hill. They decided to take this line. The other way they could have went around, they could have went up to Jackhammer. It was a little bit longer. So a lot of guys decided to take this trail. However, they did have to get out and winch, and it did cause a big traffic jam here. At one time, there was probably about 6 cars backed up in through here. This is what it is driving around at nighttime. The camera is actually doing a pretty good job, but it is sun was already down and it was pretty dark even driving through this. You can see all the dust. It's hard to see. Even it gets even worse as it gets pretty black outside. This is at the top of Chocolate Thunder, and you can see where everybody's camping down there in Hammertown, and you can see all the trails that are around here. So from up here, you can see the Jumbotron that was up behind our camp at Turkey Claw. It's right there in the middle of your screen. You can see the little the white screen flashing there. So this is the last night we were there. This is Chocolate Thunder. This is pretty much every night here in a back door. You come out here and people are just running it after the race, tearing up the trail. But there's thousands of people up here. There's fireworks going off. There's people just have bonfires, everything you can imagine up here. The only problem is a lot of these guys are leaving their trash up there, so it's making a big problem. And people are having to go through and clean up everything after these people are leaving without taking out their trash. People come from all over the world to check out this event. We met some people from Australia, or from all over the United States. Just about every kind of off-road rig you can imagine is here. Everybody's coming out just to have a good time to watch the race. Unfortunately, the kids weren't feeling really well, so we decided to leave on Saturday. This is when the 4400 race was going on. I ran down to Turkey Claw to watch some of the first guys running. This is a shot of Justin Shearer. He led most of this race. He only lost by a few minutes to the winner, Raul Gomez, who won it for a second year in a row.
Left the line in 7th position this morning. Looks like running strong. He's got that massive 3-quart motor in this Jimmy's car. It's got some miles under it now, which means that you've got the vehicle inside out and then bigger, heavier cars that we see in the field today. Yeah, now let's just talk about that.
Here's Raul Gomez coming down the trail just behind Justin Shearer. This is the same guy that was, start of the video, you see him going up the hill. He didn't end up winning in his UFO IFS buggy here.
This ensures about 5 minutes of class, and we will be able to check the time of moving as we want to advance in junior as we want to get in our class. Lord really had an awesome day yesterday. Yeah, absolutely. This is
Well, that's about wrapping it up for our trip to the King of the Hammers 2023. We had a great time. Definitely going to be back next year. And we know some things we're going to bring, things not to do. And we better be prepared for it next year. Thanks for watching.
This guy is IFS with IRS. We also have what's like our tuning on it, which means that it's electric, electricity control, and the motor as well.